Well, it's a good time when you have three amazing ladies with you who actually are redefining roles for women in cinema and cinema as well. Thank you so much for speaking to Good Times. I'll start with you. You've done a variety from commercial, I mean, Saudagar, then you had the Mani Ratnam films, which were very progressive and slice of life back in the day, and now this.
Right.
What has it been like?
Well, it's been really great for me, being able to work with one of the best directors over the period of time, and now getting great opportunity to showcase my work, my passion. So I'm hugely thankful and grateful.
Also, it's also about reinventing yourself, as you said. Is it tedious or is it okay?
I think one has to adapt to the changing times, and every decade there's a new change that happens. And but if you're passionate about the work, and if you really get inspired, that becomes a part of the job that you do, and you're moving with the flow. And yes, it's a lot of hard work because you need to study what's working, what's not working, and you need to devote extra time. You know, we have only 24 hours, in that I have bracketed my time, my work time, my family time, my me time, which is going into the mountains and blah blah blah. But I have to take out some from each to put it in my works to understand what's working and what's not. So it requires time and attention to reinvent yourself and to mold yourself into the current scenario. But for the love of the work we do, all is okay.
And also, Saiyami and Aditya, you know, I want to ask you is, like, you belong to this generation which is seeing changes unfolding. You've got the OTT platform, you've done cinema as well.
Yes.
Because when Manisha ji made her debut, it was cinema, and they basically lived in the set with like 3 films happening simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's now the me time that she craves that she's getting now. But you do your running, you are doing your things. What is it like for you? Is it challenging, or do you think these are the good times?
I think these are the best times for an actor, especially a female actor, because we've chatted about this earlier. I think, you know, there were stereotypical roles written for women earlier, which has changed in a big way. Fortunately for me, my first film was a girl choosing 2 guys. It was a grey character. She had lots to do. It was a double role. So it was a film which Gulzar Saab had fleshed out the female. It was the female's film, if you go to see. And from there, unfortunately didn't make the box office money that people expected. So the stuff that was offered to me after that was not so fleshy enough, and then it wasn't exciting me. And then I got offered stuff on the digital platforms, which was so exciting because they've just been writing such interesting roles for women. So I think this is the best time for women actors because there is stuff being written for women, by women, different roles. I'm getting to play a prostitute in a series, I'm playing a raw agent in a series, and I'm playing in Choked in Anurag sir's film. I'm playing a homemaker who's a banker, who's making the mundane life, making her 2 ends meet. So there's just so many varied roles I'm getting to do, which is very exciting.
And you've got She coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, you made your debut with Love, Sex and Dhoka. And here you're playing now a cop.
Yeah, actually Love, Sex and Dhokha was, I was just passing by.
Oh, okay.
So this is my actual debut.
That was
because-
passing by you.
Yeah, actually I was thinking whether I should do MBA or should I continue running, because I was a runner for Iran State. I ran station. I come from a theatre background. Yes, my father was I'm a Maharashtrian that way. So culturally we did read Gidhade, or we did some of the, you know, for example, my dad would speak about Tiful Rani to us, you know, so he would say that, you see, the actresses are changing, but the content, because of the content, the way it's written, is just that even if the actresses are changing, you don't see the change in the whole play for that matter. Yeah. And I used to wonder, what is this play? Why do people gather together and watch something live? You know, that time it seemed very strange to me as a child.
It's a good time for actors. And it's a great time
because, you know, everybody around you is like, what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? But I had the liberty and I had the time on hand, of course. I did study by the side, but I started with theatre. I'm so happy that I didn't, I would say, walk the ramp and I went to theatre, because I learned so much, I would say. You know, nothing bad.
No, absolutely.
It's perspective. So, but I did learn so much about how and why I want to become an actor.
Most challenging, as I spoke to a female actor, she says, though we have a lot of female-driven films, you could relate to this because also in your, back in the day, but even now they are made on the budget of a hero's leading hero's salary.
Certainly.
So what do you think needs to change? What for who has seen like 3 decades of cinema? What do you think is that one thing?
I think the more content which comes from a female director and writers and centered around women or centered this thing, automatically, you know, what happens is when people start seeing there is a big budget films made by a woman and the lead is a female, if that starts changing, the dynamics will start changing too. And right now, it's just baby steps we've taken forward in terms of at least we have Zoya Akhtar, at least we have Alankrita, at least we have some female, directors and writers who are telling stories. So to reach to a level of that huge budget, I think it's going to take time. But it will only happen when people start making these things, you know, and audiences start responding to it, or audiences started liking it. Even for me to see Badhai Ho becoming a success, it was a huge thing, you know, and so things are changing, slowly at its own pace. And as long as the content driven, good directors, good writers, good performers are coming, so it'll reach there.
It will, yeah, because my trailer was out recently and I got such amazing reviews on YouTube. I suddenly saw that, oh, Vijay Varma is also a part of it. So Vijay Varma, you got certain comments that he got, and I got equal comments on that.
That's amazing.
Being a newcomer, you know. So for me, it was very exciting. I was like, wow.
So also with platforms like this, because earlier, I mean, you can also relate to it and you've also seen it. Earlier, women were categorized into 2 compartments. Either she was good, absolutely good, or she was the other. Like your character in Love Stories that you've played. Back in the day, it would have been, it's so 1 or 2 movies like a Bhumika or something, only Smita Patil and those art house, you'd be categorized in that, don't do it. But now, as a youngster said, every mainstream actor wants to do those roles.
So I think it's great that now the audience are accepting and liking the grey areas as well. And also, you know, like I did long time back, I did a movie called Akele Hum Akele Tum, where women, it's like
walk out of the marriage.
You walk out of the marriage and has an ambition and wants to, okay, she's married, okay, she has a kid, but she also has a personal ambition which she wants to fulfill. So that was, those days was little looked down upon. Ki, after marriage, after this thing, your job is family and kid, not your career. Only a man can have a career. So all that is changing now. I think slowly and slowly people are, the fact that Love Stories became acceptable and success and people loved it, is because I think the viewers are also changing. They are also, you know, accepting.
Yeah.
So
certainly. But with OTT, yes, it is changing. The perspective is changing, and the ideas of people of watching something, the want to watch is changing because it's easily accessible, one thing. And it's good content. Secondly, the scripts are brilliant of some films. Marriage Story, like I just spoke, had such a easy breezy, but yet something that leaves you behind, and you can watch it over and over again, you know.
If I could just add here, so like you said, there was a Smita Patil and there was a very clear distinction between art and commercial cinema. The lines have merged now, which is very important. I feel the lines have merged where a Taapsee will do Main Tera Hero, but then she is doing Pink, she's doing Thappad, she's doing such relevant films. So I feel the lines are merging, which is wonderful. And I feel it's also where the ratio used to be probably 5% to 95 commercial, 95% of commercial films and 5% of like art films, which you call, that's merged, and you can see like a 50-50 where even the boys are doing like Varun's doing a Badlapur and he's doing a Coolie number 1. So I feel just the mixing of the 2 cinemas, which has become new age cinema, is a mix of both commerce and relevant topics, which is wonderful, which is why I keep saying we are in wonderful times.
And audience is accepting that.
True. And you have seen, well, one thing that you're happy about that has changed now, and those days you craved for it to happen. That is what one thing.
I think today women I mean, those days also we had women-centric cinema. We had but very few. But today, with the younger generation, like how Taapsee is doing so many movies, and so is Kangana, and so many other actresses are getting, and so many good female directors are coming forward. So now the story is not only a male gaze but a female gaze. From a woman's perspective, woman is not only just as there to titilize or just to support the male lead, but actually women is leading the story. And so all that is happening now.
And people want to watch it.
But we need more of it.
Yeah, we need a lot more of it.
So one thing as ladies, I mean, in the industry, that you really want to see that change. We've been talking, but the heroines are talking about, like, they've spoken about pay parity, they've spoken about no more gender disparity. But personally, what is that one change you really wish to see?
I personally think, like you said, we are seeing a change. We are seeing women writers, women directors come forward. Why a Piku was so relatable is because Juhi's written it, and Juhi ji is somebody who is a woman telling a woman's story. I feel that makes a big difference as opposed to a man writing a woman's story. Is a different perspective which we've been seeing all along. So I feel like women writers, women directors, if they rise, then there'll be more women-driven stories that people will relate to more easily. That's one thing. And when you talk about paychecks, you made a point where you said that women films are made in hero budgets. Yeah. I feel that it's fine because we are at least making women-driven films. So when these small budget films like Piku goes on to making so much money, that's when the ball starts rolling. So I feel it is a step and the ball is rolling. We need to just be optimistic and keep at it.
Anisha ji, what about you?
I agree with her completely, and I think the more women enter into the field of entertainment, of creating stories, of directing and editing and all that, that will change. We won't be able to see that jump, but it's a slow and growing process, and we will get there.
Yeah.
And let's not focus on the airport looks, as everybody says. Let's focus on
or the gym looks.
Enjoy that, but don't base your career on that. Have that, enjoy it, and but that's just a fluffy part
it's more stressful than actually doing the part. I'm sure about it, coordinating with stylists and all. So I think, yeah.
And thank you so much. And lastly, about the OTT platform, you've done Last Stories, Maska, Choked, She Is Coming. Do you feel this has also opened up for you to do anything, anything out?
Certainly. Absolutely. It has given us a huge freedom to choose the different kind of roles that we want to perform.
And nobody's judging you for that.
And nobody's judging.
Yeah. And if I could just add, the best thing about it is, this preconceived notion saying, abhi 35 ke baad, 40 ke baad shaadi kar lo, bacche paida karo, is gone. Because when at 40 you have 40 plus, you have Shefali ma'am, you have Manisha ma'am doing such brilliant work. It's just so encouraging as a youngster to know that your acting career doesn't end when you become a little older. So I feel that I'm very grateful to for OTT.
And you're alive on Netflix for a while.
Which is true, and there's no box office to determine whether your performance was good or your movie.
Exactly.
And also roles are being written.
Absolutely.
Earlier they weren't.
That is
just
the
thought,
best part. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
well,
so much.
the ladies who have been the change, who are going to be the change, thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
really need this in these times. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.